So when I think of a franchise like Saints Row, I think about the larger than life characters. I think about the crazy storylines. I think about the explosions. I think about the political satire where it exceeds the normal satire we would get in the minds of the GTA developers Rockstar. And here I am playing Saints Row 2022 and I feel that everything that I just listed is in this title. Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you guys for clicking on this video. And would you mind liking and subbing to the channel for more videos like this where we talk about games, movies, TV shows, and also be around for the podcast that we do every 2 weeks. Me and my buddy Jan will be back on in 2 weeks talking about God knows what, and we hope to see you there. With that being said, let's talk about Saints Row 2022. So look, how I'm going to do this review is I want to do some pros, I want to do some cons, and I'm going to some mixed stuff. Pros meaning some stuff I really dig about the game. Some cons meaning, yeah, I'm not really a big fan. And mixed, I'm not sure how I feel about it. And that's how I'm going to break down this gameplay. And I'm going to start out with the cons first because, believe it or not, I have less cons than I have pros. Because, spoiler alert, I think this game is solid. I've put about 10 to 12 hours into it. I know what I'm getting. I've unlocked a bunch of abilities. I've done a bunch of side quests. I've met so many NPCs. I'm already rich as fuck in this game. And I've already seen a lot of what the game has to offer. I'm probably maybe close to halfway through the story, maybe a little less, a little bit more. I'm not sure. But all in all, I don't mind the game. So I'm gonna start off with my cons first, go to my pros, then we'll go to my mixed, and then we'll wrap it on up. And I'm hoping, if nothing else, this review will make you decide should I try the game or should I not. And I'll let you know how I feel towards the end of this video. So let's go with our cons. The first thing I have on this list is this game is really buggy. Now, is it as buggy as Cyberpunk 2077? No, it's not, but it is buggy, and I will have some gameplay up on the screen of particular moments in combat, especially that these bugs were almost game breaking. I mean, there's literally times I would be in a gunfight and I'm holding my gun up to shoot my target, and my gun is facing the opposite direction, and I can't do anything. I couldn't switch to my other weapon. I couldn't melee. Um, my running was stuck at one speed. I couldn't jump, and I couldn't finish the mission. So I have to start all over. I had to go back to my most recent checkpoint, which I'll get to in a minute, just to finish that encounter. And that was very, very annoying. Crashes and bugs are riddled with throughout this game, and it is, some of them can be game breaking, but I haven't had too many yet to the point where I don't want to cut the fucking game on. So if that tells you anything, there should be a first day patch for this. As I'm recording this, I'm 2 days after the release of the game, so I'm sure there has been an update since playing. I just haven't had a whole lot of time since. I just knew I wanted to make this video, so I'm just telling you my cons as of 2 days ago. The second thing I'll say is the sound in this game is kind of off. Now, what do I mean that? Well, I feel like the music is like in combat encounters, it's pretty good. I will say, as far as any Saints Row titles, I feel like the music in the gunfights is the best here. I've always felt like in all the Saints Row games, you think about Saints Row 3, there'd be combat encounters and they're quiet as hell. Like, it's almost like all this action be going on and it would be really, really quiet. All you could hear is your guns going off, and I guess in a way that's, I guess, realistic, but since when did Saints Row worry about realism, you know what I mean? So the sounds are really off in this game, and I think that this has to go back to what I was saying, the crashes and bugs, right? The last thing, checkpoints are absolutely broken in this game, meaning you can go to almost the end of the mission, and if you die, which you will, because this game can be quite challenging. Now, what I will say is it challenging or is it bullshit? It could be both, because I've had encounters where I'll wipe the floor with enemies, and then I've had encounters where I'll get my ass kicked. Um, Enemies will spawn out of thin air. This kind of goes back to the crashes and bugs. They'll spawn out of thin air. Everyone has auto aim. I mean, you can't escape these motherfuckers to save your life. You're dodging, you're rolling. shots. You can have a full on arsenal, which is what I have at this point in the game already, and you're still going to struggle. So, but the checkpoints will throw you off because you'll get really really far into a level, and then you have to start all over again. And I mean, there was a couple times, a couple levels there where I got really really far to the end, and I knew I was coming up on the next plot point of that mission, and I had to start all over again, and it almost made me cut the game off. But I kept going for these reasons. So now, I say for these reasons because I wanted this to carry smoothly into my pros. I have a lot more pros than cons for this game because I believe this game does a lot of things right. And so, starting with gameplay, the gameplay is fun, guys. Like, I don't. I've had people saying that they feel like the gunplay is dated. They feel like it's, the aiming is floaty, and things of that nature. I don't really see that. Now, is the gunplay slash gameplay as good as I bring up Red Dead 2 a lot when it comes to the shooting, right? Because I know in Red Dead 2, you kind of move very stiffly as Arthur or John, spoiler alert, but the gunplay is the response time with every weapon you shoot is almost it's super realistic. In Saints Row, the gunplay is not realistic, but it feels good. It's the best feeling gunplay out of any of them, hands down. Any of the prior Saints Rows. And honestly, that's what's been keeping me around. Is the gameplay is a lot of fun. Graphically, listen, it's not the best looking game. Honestly, the characters do look like Fortnite characters. But the environments, the world. Santo Aliso looks beautiful, and in lights when you're in your glider, your wingsuit, and you're going from building to building, and you see the sunset, and it's shining all over the city, and you see the reflection off cars and water puddles and things like that. And by the way, just a disclaimer. I'm playing this on PS5 at 60 FPS. I'm playing at the highest graphical setting, 4K, with to my obviously to my 4K TV. My 4K supports 140 hertz, so the game is running super smooth. Now I can't say that for everybody. If you're playing on a 1080p monitor or something of that nature, or 4K TV at 60 hertz, you might not get that same effect. But for me, it was absolutely breathtaking at parts. But I also understand that as far as where we're at in gaming, the graphics are not great. But what other Saints Row has good graphics? Saints Row has never tried to wow you in the graphical department. Um, this is going to be very controversial, but the dynamic between the main characters seems genuine. Are they corny? Sure. Are they cringy? Definitely. But are they bad characters? No, they're not. Maybe except Kevin. All of them are likable to me. Are they the traditional Saints characters? No, they're not. Are they Johnny Gat? No, they're not. Are they Shandy? No, they're not. But they're still good characters. Who said Johnny Gat and Shandy are good characters? They're decent characters, but really the reason why people remember them is because they were in the other games. If these characters actually went to another game or they were in sequels, you might grow to love these characters. So yeah, they come off cringy, they come off a little strange, but I feel like the friendship is real. I wish we would have seen a little bit more of how they met as opposed to just throwing different members of each group of each gang and they become friends and then they come together to start the Saints. I wish I would have seen a little bit more of the start of their friendship, but overall it feels genuine to me. Customization is an all-time high here. As you know, with the teaser, customization is nuts. You can make any character you want. I go for the badass characters, so I made my guy badass. But you can make Shrek. You can make Eminem if you want. You can make some alien freak, whatever you want, and you can be your own boss in this Saints Row as usual. No surprises there. There is some destructible environments. I was actually surprised. I thought they put a lot of detail in destructible environments. I mean, you can run through a lot of shit in this game, and it's really impressive. I mean, is it? Can you run through everything? No, of course not. But it is super impressive, and I like the world that they made. And that brings me to my last point in my pros, is that the architecture, the buildings, the And also I also bring in like the mountain scenery and like the New Mexico Valley. That's kind of what it gives you. Like it gives you Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul vibes because this game is based in a New Mexico type area, and I loved it. I love the area. I love the setting. You know, it doesn't feel the most alive. It doesn't feel, you know, I compare it to Red Dead 2, which is ridiculous, right? But like in the environments in the world around you, it feels like it's living, it's breathing. It doesn't feel on that level, but it's really, really decent. Um, so that brings me to my mixed. And these, honestly, these could be cons, they could be pros, but mostly these are mixed for me. The gameplay can get repetitive, but to me, I'm not bored of the gameplay yet because I genuinely like the gunplay. I like the action and the gameplay heavy parts of this game. So I'm not exactly tired of the gameplay yet, but I can see how it could be. And the last thing from my mixed is the Empire system. I feel like the Empire system is very weak in this game. What I mean by this, you get this big map as soon as you get the church where your Saints headquarters is, and you have this big map where you can open businesses and stuff. And I feel like it's very weak on how they did it. Now, how could they do it better? That's something that's for a whole other video. But I just feel like with the missions associated with each place on the map could be better. But those are just mixed things. I just wanted to have a mixed section, and to me, those are the main things for me. So, all in all, I like the game. I don't think it's a shit game like everybody's saying. It's definitely not the worst game of all time. Is it the best? Fuck no, it's not. And I would not come on the mic and tell you guys that it is. But I say this to all, hopefully show you guys that it is worth your time. It is worth the playthrough. Now, is it worth the $60? I mean, are you a Saints Row fan? If you are, you'll enjoy this game. If you're not a Saints Row fan and you never played Saints Row before, wait for a sale. Either way, either whether you wait for a sale or you buy the game flat out, I think you will have a good time with this game. This is not a Game of the Year contender. This is not a God of War Ragnarok. This is not The Last of Us Part 1 remake. This is not The Last of Us Part 2. This isn't GTA 5. This is Saints Row 2022. And for what it is, and especially where gaming is right now, where it's kind of a lull in gaming right now, it's worth the playthrough. So, I hope if nothing else, this video has maybe convinced you whether or not you're going to get it or not. Look, I don't give a shit what you do, right? But I do think it's worth checking out. Even if it comes on Game Pass eventually, it doesn't hurt to check it out and just see what you think of the game and get your own personal opinion, because a lot of these critics and people who review games on YouTube and whatnot, they just love to shit on the game. There's nothing else better than to shit on people's hard work. I mean, there's people that put their time and effort into these games, just like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was a decent game. Is it the best? Of course not. Does it have the best mission structure? No, it doesn't. But it's still a damn good game. And I feel the same way about Saints Row. So that's all I got for you. Let me know if you've tried it. Let me know if you've played it. Let me know if you're going to play it. With that being said, I'll see you guys later.
Knocking them down.
Reloading!
What are you even doing here? That was a group effort. Pawn of the status quo! Pitcher formation!
Not today! This guy won't fight for himself! You can't fight the idols!
Oh my god, you're so annoying!
Don't stand against us! Ah!
Going to their flag!
Nice try! Oh!
Too much heat.
That's the last of them. Let's get my mecha burger.